A picture dropped online, and within minutes it was everywhere. John Cena, one of the biggest names to ever step foot inside a wrestling ring. A movie star, a guy whose face is recognized on basically every continent, stared into the camera with a head shaved down to the bare skin. No stubble, no shadow, nothing left to hide behind. And the caption underneath told everyone exactly why. If you followed Cena for any length of time, you know he doesn't do things halfway. So when he decided to go back under the needle for a second hair transplant, he didn't just trim things down and hope for the best. He went completely bald on purpose. And that single choice says a lot more about the man than a caption ever could. Before we get into the full story, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell right next to it so you get notified the moment we post fresh updates on this one. Cena's story is still developing, and you're going to want to be first to know what happens next. So subscribe, turn on those notifications, and let's get into it. The image that set off the conversation showed Cena freshly shaved, standing beside a man in medical scrubs. That man was Dr. Ken Anderson, a hair restoration surgeon based in Atlanta. This wasn't a candid snapshot caught by a fan or a paparazzo lurking outside a clinic. Cena posted it himself. He wanted people to see it. And the caption carried the weight. In his own words, he said he went all in for the best possible results. 3 little words that tell you everything about his mindset. He wasn't tiptoeing into this. He committed fully, shaved everything off, and put his trust in the process. The procedure he underwent is called FUE, which stands for follicular unit extraction. In plain language, it's a method where individual hair follicles are taken from an area of the scalp where hair grows thickly, usually the back and sides of the head, and then carefully placed into the areas where hair has thinned out or disappeared. It's precise, it's meticulous, and it's become one of the most popular approaches in modern hair restoration because it leaves minimal scarring and looks incredibly natural when done well. This was round 2 for Cena. His first transplant took place back in November of 2024. So this second session builds on the work already done, filling in more, adding density, and pushing the results even further. And that brings us to the reason he shaved his entire head this time around. At first glance, it might seem counterintuitive. Why would a man getting a hair transplant start by removing every last strand? Wouldn't you want to keep as much as possible? Here's the thing. Shaving the head down to the skin gives the surgeon the maximum possible canvas to work with. When there's no existing hair in the way, the doctor can see the entire scalp clearly, map out exactly where new follicles need to go, and place them with far greater precision. It opens up more room, allows for denser packing of the grafts, and generally leads to a higher quality, more even result. So Cena's decision to go all in wasn't just a dramatic gesture for the camera. It was a strategic one. He gave his surgeon the best possible conditions to deliver the best possible outcome. When you understand that, the shaved head stops looking like a sacrifice and starts looking like the smartest move on the board. Now, to really understand why this story resonates the way it does, we have to rewind. Because Cena didn't arrive at this point in a vacuum. There was a period not that long ago when his thinning hair became a target. During his appearances in WWE, crowds noticed a bald spot forming on the back of his head. And wrestling crowds, as anyone familiar with the culture knows, can be brutal. They started chanting about it. They brought signs to the arena drawing attention to it. Thousands of people, live and loud, turning a man's insecurity into a punchline in front of the world. Cena didn't dodge it or pretend it never happened. He addressed it head-on. He called the taunts what they were, bullying. But here's the part that matters most. Even while naming it as bullying, he refused to feel ashamed. He didn't hide, he didn't retreat. He acknowledged the cruelty of it while making it absolutely clear that he wasn't going to carry any embarrassment about a completely natural part of getting older. That distinction is powerful. There's a difference between being hurt by something and being shamed by it. Cena drew that line clearly. The behavior was wrong, but his hair loss was nothing to apologize for. And by saying so out loud, he gave a lot of people permission to feel the same way about their own experiences. And make no mistake, a lot of people are dealing with exactly this. Hair loss isn't some rare condition that affects an unlucky few. It's one of the most common experiences men go through. Depending on the study you look at, roughly 7 or 8 out of every 10 men will deal with some form of hair loss over the course of their lives. Let that number settle for a second. The overwhelming majority of men. Fathers, brothers, co-workers, the guy next to you on the train. It's practically universal. And yet, despite how common it is, it remains something a huge number of men quietly stress about, cover up, and refuse to talk about openly. That silence is exactly why a figure like Cena stepping forward carries so much weight. When someone with his level of fame, someone who built an entire persona around strength and toughness, openly says, "Yes, this is happening to me, and I'm doing something about it, and I'm not ashamed," it chips away at the stigma. It tells millions of men watching that they're not alone, and that there's nothing weak about caring how you look or seeking a solution. Celebrity transparency does something that public health campaigns often struggle to do. It makes the ordinary person feel seen. When the untouchable action hero admits he's going through the same thing you are, the whole subject suddenly feels a lot less embarrassing. There's another layer to this that's easy to overlook, and it's worth spelling out. For Cena, restoring his hair isn't purely a personal or emotional decision. It's also a professional one. Cena has spent years building a second act as a Hollywood actor. He's appeared in comedies, action blockbusters, family films, and everything in between. And in the acting world, appearance matters in a very practical sense. The range of roles an actor can convincingly play is tied, at least in part, to how they look. A full head of hair genuinely widens the doors open to him. It expands the kinds of characters he can portray, the eras a film can place him in, the leading man roles he can step into. A bald look can be striking and iconic, sure, but it also boxes an actor into a narrower set of parts. By restoring his hair, Cena is quite literally investing in his own versatility and extending the runway of his career. So when you put it all together, this procedure is doing double duty. On one hand, it's about personal confidence, feeling good in his own skin, on his own terms. On the other, it's a calculated business move to protect and grow the long acting career he's worked so hard to build. Confidence and strategy, wrapped into one decision. Here's where the story takes a turn that says something hopeful about how things have changed. Because when Cena revealed that fully shaved head, the online reaction wasn't a fresh wave of cruelty. It was the opposite. It was affection. Fans looked at the bald, intense, no-nonsense version of Cena and immediately started drawing comparisons. Some nicknamed him Stone Cold Cena, a playful nod to another legendary bald wrestling icon. Others joked that he was auditioning to play Lex Luthor, the famously bald supervillain from the Superman universe. The comments filled up with laughter, but it was the warm kind, the kind that comes from a place of goodwill rather than mockery. And of course, the internet couldn't resist tying it back to Cena's most famous catchphrase. For years, his signature move was waving his hand in front of his face and declaring, "You can't see me." So naturally, the shaved head sparked a flood of invisibility jokes and memes. If they couldn't see him before, now with the bald head, the gag practically wrote itself. People ran with it, and the whole thing became one big affectionate inside joke. Think about the contrast for a moment. Not long ago, crowds were chanting cruel things about his hair loss to his face. Now the same phenomenon, a bald John Cena, is fueling memes rooted in love and humor. That shift is the whole story in miniature. The exact same subject that was once used to tear him down is now being used to celebrate him. That's what happens when someone meets ridicule with honesty. Cena didn't fight the joke or demand people stop. He owned his situation so completely that he took the power out of the insult. And once he did that, the crowd's energy flipped. Cruelty gave way to solidarity. The mockery softened into something that looked a lot more like community. So let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because there's more going on here than one celebrity and one cosmetic procedure. The first takeaway is about the power of candor. Cena took something that was used to humiliate him and transformed it into a source of connection. By being open about his hair loss and his choice to treat it, he turned potential embarrassment into relatability. Millions of people saw themselves in his story. That's the alchemy of honesty. It can convert ridicule into support. The second is about the procedure itself, and it's a genuinely useful bit of knowledge. Shaving the head completely before a transplant isn't about drama. It gives surgeons the maximum working space to produce denser, more precise, higher quality results. If you or someone you know ever considers this route, that's worth understanding. The third is about normalization. Most men still hide hair loss out of embarrassment, even though it affects the vast majority of them. When a public figure of Cena's stature is transparent about it, It helps strip away the shame and makes the whole subject easier to talk about openly. The fourth is about how fan culture is evolving. The affectionate meme response, the stone-cold jokes, the Lex Luthor comparisons, the invisibility gags, shows a shift away from cruelty and towards solidarity. Audiences increasingly rally around the people they follow rather than tearing them down. That's a meaningful change in the tone of online culture. And the fifth ties it all together. For Cena, hair restoration was never just one thing. It served as both a boost to his personal confidence and a smart, forward-looking investment in his career. Personal and professional, emotional and strategic, all in a single decision. At the end of the day, this is a story about a man who could have quietly booked a private appointment, kept it entirely to himself, and let people wonder. Instead, John Cena shaved his head bald, stood next to his surgeon, snapped a photo, and told the world exactly what he was doing and why. He took a vulnerability that crowds once weaponized against him and flipped it into openness, advocacy, and a bit of shared laughter. He reminded everyone that hair loss is normal, that seeking help for it is nothing to be ashamed of, and that owning your story is often the fastest way to disarm the people trying to use it against you. Whether you see it as a confidence move, a career decision, or a quiet act of advocacy for the millions of men going through the same thing, one truth stands out. The guy who built a whole catchphrase around not being seen just made absolutely sure everyone was looking, and this time they were cheering. Now I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you think John Cena's openness about his hair loss actually helps break the stigma